What does it mean to have a beginner's mind? Good morning. My name is Father Frank Buckley. I am delighted to be the host of our morning meditation group, Flourishing During Times of Uncertainty. Happy Monday. Today is going to be a great day. Delighted you are here. If you're new to the program, welcome. Mondays in particular, we focus on people who have either never done meditation, coming back to meditation, or new. It's a three-part program. First part is a little inspiration, and in this inspiration, we talk a little bit about meditation on Monday and how to do it in a way where you can experience a little miracle in your everyday, ordinary life. The second part is we actually sit down, turn the gaze inwards, take the attention to the breath, and do 20 minutes of silent meditation with a little guided meditation to get us into it. And then the third part of the program is we basically, rather than jumping up, we do a very short Jesuit examine, noticing where God's come alive in our life. On Monday, we look over the weekend, and please feel free to put your comments, reflections on where God has come alive for you in the comment boxes. So, good morning and welcome. I try to encourage people when they're interested in this program, if they've never meditated, to join us on Mondays. In the middle of a topsy-turvy pandemic, meditation can be our best friend. Personally, I believe one of the most important things in our whole life is our morning practice. Cardinal Bernardine said after spending many years as a cardinal, he decided to give the first hour of his day to God, and that changed everything. And if it worked for Cardinal Bernardine, I know it can work for us. So I would like to share with you, thank you, Eleanor, a little book called Zen Mind, Beginner Mind, about what a beginner mind is. And it's really one of my very favorite ideas in mindfulness and contemplative practice and meditation is to keep this idea of a beginner mind. And in Suzuki Roshi's book, he was a monk who brought meditation from Japan over to the Zen Center in San Francisco. And there's so many interesting things about this guy, but people loved him, and you'll see why when you hear his readings in a moment. But they wanted to build him a monastery like out in the redwoods or by the ocean. And for the first monastery, he said, no. He said, go back and you find the noisiest corner in San Francisco, and we're going to plop the Zen Center there. And they built it on one of the busiest corners in San Francisco, 300 Page Street. I've spent and been there many times. It is one of the most beautiful spaces in San Francisco, and it is still there to this day. So let me share with you the beginning of Zen Mind, Beginner Mind. Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, informal talks on Zen meditation practice. Beginner's Mind. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few. People say that practicing Zen is difficult, but there is a misunderstanding as to why. It is not difficult because it is hard to sit in the cross-legged position or to attain enlightenment. It is difficult because it is hard to keep our mind pure and our practice pure in the fundamental sense. The Zen school developed in many ways after it was established in China, but at the same time it became more and more impure. But I don't want to talk about Chinese Zen or the history of Zen. I am interested in helping you keep your practice from becoming impure. In Japan, we have a phrase, soshin, which means beginner's mind. The goal of practice is to always keep our beginner's mind. Suppose you recite the Prajna Paramita Sutra only once. It might be a very good recitation. But what would happen if you recited it twice, 3 times, 4 times, or more? You might easily lose your original attitude towards it. The same thing will happen in your other Zen practices. For a while, you will keep your beginner's mind. But if you continue to practice for 1, 2, 3 years or more, although you may improve some, you are liable to lose the limitless meaning of the original mind. For Zen students, the most important thing is not to be dualistic. Our original mind includes everything within itself. It is always rich and sufficient within itself. You should not lose your self-sufficient mind, but actually an empty mind and a ready mind. If your mind is empty, it is always ready for anything. It is open to everything. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. That is my favorite line in the whole book. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. So we want to cultivate in our practice a beginner's mind. If you're new to meditation, the good news is the method is so simple. Father Thomas Keating says it's almost too good to be true. We simply sit down. And then you pick a one, or you choose a one, or sometimes it chooses you, a 1 or 2 syllable word. Repeat it 4 or 5 times. Consciousness is always vertical. Then you drop down and enjoy deep rest. God is as close to us as this very air that we breathe. Now, if you're human at all and have a pulse, I will promise you thoughts will arise. As soon as the thoughts arise, don't push them away. They'll just come by more. Simply go back to your little mantra, your one word, repeat it 4 or 5 times, and then drop back down into deep rest. You absolutely cannot do this wrong. We just give the first 20 minutes of this morning to God. And then as the man who wrote, is that book, Supermind, he says, when we do this 20-minute meditation, ideally if you can do it twice a day, says something very peculiar starts to happen. The world starts going our way. And that is certainly my experience with prayer and meditation, even during a pandemic. God starts to show up in amazing and beautiful ways. So if you're new, welcome. I'll do a little guided meditation just for a few minutes. I'll ring the bell, a little guided meditation, and then we'll drop down, engage the sacred word 4 or 5 times, and enjoy a little deep rest. At the end of 20 minutes, I'll ring the bell again to bring us out. So the most important thing for our meditation practice is for it to be effortless. There's no trying with this. So you've shown up this morning. You're with what I believe to be the best contemplative community around right here on our Jesuit campus in Hollywood. As my friend Blanche Hartman, abbess of the Zen Center, used to say, when we sit in a room by ourselves, it's quiet. But when we sit with the community, like we're going to do now, it's very, very quiet. So I invite you to first unplug. One of the ways we flourish is turning off all technology. I will set the timer for 20 minutes. I will ring the bell to begin and ring the bell to bring us out. Let's do it. Listen, listen. The sound of this beautiful bell brings us back to our true home. As always, we begin with diaphragmatic breathing, that is, breathing deeply as possible into the lower tummy 3 times to help get us grounded. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Together, inhale, open mouth, exhale. Beautiful. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Last time, give it all you got. Inhale and exhale. I invite you to take your shoes off, place your soles of your feet on the green earth. Take the attention to the body. Continue to breathe on your own and just feel the earth beneath your feet, and just experience how solid the earth is in this moment. Coming into the present moment, notice any sensations as your hands press onto your lap. If you're new to meditation, become aware of the body supported by the cushion or the chair. None of us can do this alone. We all need a little support in our lives. You did not get here by accident. Take a moment to reflect on where you felt supported recently. And lean into that support. Take the attention to the shoulders. If you've been holding on to anything this weekend, let go, surrender, release. Just let the tension fall down your back and allow the earth to receive it. Lighten up. Move the attention to the heart. I invite you to hold on to your heart for a moment and notice where you experienced a little joy recently. See if you can name that place or person who brings you joy in one word. Gently, gently, gently place that word all the way towards the back of your heart. And as a community around this whole globe, let's breathe one time into the joy. Inhale. Exhale and release the hands and just notice what you feel. Beautiful. Our morning practice is basically about attention and intention. We arrive at the forehead, the seat of intuition, the area between the eyebrows, that place that always tells the truth, and focus on an intention for this morning's practice. Something we desire deeply in our lives in this moment, being courageous enough to ask God for something really great and beautiful. Seal that intention with an inhale and an exhale. Take the attention to your sacred word. Repeat it 3 or 4 times. Drop down and enjoy a little deep rest this morning. Please continue. very gently bring your attention back to the room. If your eyes were closed, go ahead, open the eyes. Let's circle the wrist one way, then the other. Shake out anything you've been holding on to. This was your first time meditating. Congratulations, you did it. Well done. And now we just move into the little Jesuit examine where we just look over the weekend and notice where God came alive for us. And I'm looking at all the great emojis. Thanks, Remy. Just put in the comment box somewhere God showed up, and we build a little community around this. For me, first, thank you. I asked your prayers last week for my friend Grafton's dad, Rick, who was in hospice, and on Sunday, Rick died. And I really would love to share with you something I've known for a long time. In ancient Hebrew scripture, they say when a child is born, they mourn because they know the suffering that's going to arise. And when someone dies, they rejoice. And in a very unusual way, my sister also died 7 years ago, and a very good friend of hers, who's not religious at all, was called me one day just out of the blue and said, "I just had this amazing experience on my way to work of your sister just telling me that she is in heaven and her job now is to help people transition from this world to the next world." And in my meditation, it was really joyful. I imagined both my sister and Rick in heaven uh, rejoicing, and both lived a really beautiful, beautiful life. And I am a huge believer in the intercessory of saints. And I had the great privilege of meeting with Rick and Becky, his wife, and his two sons, and talking about just what kind of funeral he wanted and how we could celebrate his life. So it was really, in my meditation, just this great space of gratitude for being able to be in the Doyle's life with Rick on this journey that had been really and continues to be just beautiful. Yeah. Second, the food pantry. It was hot as 80s on Saturday, but literally gave out hundreds of meals, ice water, fruit drinks. It was remarkable. Saturday morning continues to be one of my highlights. I always say, Blessed Sacrament's the gem of Hollywood, but that's where she's certainly shining most brightly. And then third, thank you for inviting new people to join our little community. So several people have been reluctant to do meditation and have joined, and I've encouraged them to also check in the comment box. We're delighted you are here. It's a very, very friendly group. So feel free to put your comments. How was this for you? And personally, I cannot think of a better way to begin the week than with this contemplative virtual meditation group here in Hollywood. God bless you and have a beautiful rest of the week. I'll